NBA draft expert and consultant, host of NBA Big Board, Rafael Barlowe, hanging out with us here on the show. When you've watched and evaluated him, what made him special as a player that maybe we don't see on the floor in terms of like his actual skill set? What makes him special as a prospect with the intangibles, if you will, when it comes to him as a player?
The first thing that comes to mind is how much better he's gotten over the years. And of course, you expect natural progression. But when I first saw him play, I thought of him as like, oh man, he's going to be a really good play finisher and connective passer. So when he was 15 and he was on Team USA, I was like, this guy is going to be a modern day Kenyon Martin. That's not a knock on Kmart. Kmart was the number one pick, and he had a really good senior year at Cincinnati before he got hurt. But then as time has gone on, I'm like, all right, he's spacing the floor now. All right, he's handling the ball. He's not only a connective passer, he could run pick and rolls. So with Flagg, it's just the natural progression on top of him adding something new to his game every summer. And I'll be honest, he exceeded my expectations. He shot 38.5% from three, and that was not on my bingo card coming into the year. And I had him number one, but I didn't think he would be as good as he was, and I was high on him.
Yeah, he's always challenged himself.
Yep.
That's the one thing that I have been learning about Cooper is that it's always he's always pushed to go to the next level of competition. Yep. From high school to leveling up, and where was he? St. Bonaventure. What's the high school prep?
Montverde.
Montverde
Academy.
Did I just say Woj's?
Yeah, you said Woj's College, St. Bonaventure. That's right.
Again, not a draft guy, but yeah. He goes to Montverde, and we know Montverde as like just this
pipeline.
It's a pipeline. It's exactly that. And he was doing that because he was too good. He was too good in Maine. Like he was looking around Maine and being like, all right, I am the only 6'8" person in the state of Maine. All right, let's level up. Let's go to the next one. Reclassified. To go to Duke a year early. He's on all these Team USA camps, and then he gets invited. I mean, that's when I think Cooper Flagg mania like really, really exploded. Was last summer when he shows up with the select team, and he's is he the only college player invited? If you recall.
Yep.
And it's the NBA players, not just the NBA players, but the NBA stars, the Team USA stars are the people saying, yeah, that guy's good. Yeah, that guy's he's got it. Like he's gonna be a real one. And that, I think everything I hear about Cooper is reflected in, that constant churning desire, like upwards momentum that he's had to, always be challenging himself, always trying to be better and get better. And then all along the way, he does keep getting better at all those stops.
One of the things that's been so underrated in his development was his last year of playing grassroots basketball. He chose to play 16U. And I remember the people that were critical of him, like, why isn't he playing 17U? Because all the top high school players play 17U. Well, he decided to stay and play with his friends from Maine. His mom coached the team. So he played 16U. He was by far the best player on the floor every night. But with that team, he had to do everything. It was like he literally worked on his point guard skills with live defenses. It wasn't like he was working on it in drills and with cones and an empty gym. It was like, I'm going to use this group. I'm going to play with my buddies. It's probably my last year. I'm going to play with my buddies from Maine. But I'm going to get better. His brother. Yeah. His mom was a coach. But I'm going to get better because I'm going to play a position that I've never had to play before. So he was the point guard. He was the center. He played every position. And it put him in a situation where he had to work on his ball handling. And I think all of that came together his freshman year at Duke, where when you start seeing him add to his game, I think a lot of that came because he spent his entire season, his entire summer, as like a guy that played out of position to push himself.
When you look at his overall game, there'll be a lot of comparisons to a lot of top flight stars, obviously. What is his ceiling as a player, or what is the best, player comp that you have for him, given the skill set that he has, that you say, 5-10 years down the road, he could be this type of player?
That's actually a tough question because, like I said, when I first saw him, I thought modern day Kmart. And then it's some shades of Kawhi Leonard. And, of course, I think like the Andre Karolinko comparisons, of course, you would like that on the defensive end. I think some of those are lazy. But I actually kind of like the cross-racial comparisons because it really makes you think. We shouldn't just compare white players to white players, international players to international players. And I think Flagg is like one of the guys that makes you really think outside of the box with your comparisons. I've seen Kevin Garnett. I've seen people compare him to Jason Tatum. I mean, the range is wide. And it's like sometimes there's players that, all right, if you see Garnett and if you see Tatum, those guys don't even play alike.
That's true.
So with Flagg, it's kind of like, it's like gumbo. It's like a mix of quite a few players.
One of the things I'm really curious about is when you look at now the projection of what he fits in with the Dallas Mavericks going forward, what do you see in terms of an area of his game that he could work on and something that he has right away that he could step into this team and say from day one he can do this, but also as a player he can improve on this to help this team going forward?
Yeah, I'll start on the defensive end. I mean, you have all the tools that you need to be a successful defender in the NBA. He's athletic. He's competitive. He wants to defend. Like, he really wants to go out and defend. He's tough. And I don't know if I can, like, just continue to reiterate that. He was 17 when the season started.
Mm-hmm.
He was 17 when he was on Team USA. So just thinking your natural mind. When I was 17, if I were playing against Michael Jordan, I probably would have been nervous. I would have been scared. And from everything I read, he was going at those guys like, I belong. So with that being said, on the defensive end, he's going to make an impact right away. Like I said, he's able to switch and defend, and he's tough and competitive. Those are everything you look for. Offensively, if the shooting numbers are real, which I believe they are, just based off of his projection, he's going to be able to provide outside shooting. Another passer. And as we all know, towards the end of the year, I felt like Najee Marshall was the only connective passer the Mavs had on the roster when Kyrie went down. And Flagg would give the Mavs another ball handler and passer, someone that can run pick and rolls. So if you want to play him at the 4 and AD at the 5, I know AD doesn't want to play the 5, but you can run 4-5 pick and rolls.
Mm-hmm.
You can run 4-5 pick and rolls with him and Lively or Gafford. You can run 3-4 ball screens. I mean, it's just a bunch of different things that he does, and the versatility in the defense should be able to make an impact from day one.
That's the word that I keep hearing and using when describing Cooper Flagg is versatility. Like, he can do a number of things on both the offensive and defensive end that should give a coach like Jason Kidd plenty of options to be able to utilize him with the guys that he's going to be having, around him. I mean, obviously we'll wait for Kyrie Irving when he comes back from his injury, but playing alongside Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, I mean, doesn't get much better than the situation for a rookie to be able to step in to learn from some true all-star and veterans who have been there and won championships, to be able to learn what it is to be an NBA player. And he's already got that kind of confidence walking in day one, having gone against Team USA. What did that do for Cooper in your mind in terms of the way that he competed and played? We heard the comments from LeBron James and some of the others who went up against Cooper Flagg. What do you think that did for him in terms of his overall confidence as a player stepping into it as a rookie this upcoming year?
I think it just made an extremely confident player even more confident. And you have to like that. Like, one, I love irrational confidence guys. I'm just a big fan of guys like that.
Yeah.
And Cooper was always confident. But now I think that experience to where he probably felt like, I can hang with these guys, I think it's going to make his transition as a rookie that much more easier.
Say something bad about him. We said too much. We said too many nice things.
So if there was one area of concern, he actually did address it a little bit midway through the season. He was very reliant on the spin move. So I think teams started kind of sitting on it. So he would drive. Once they cut him off, he would look to spin, and then the other guard would come and take it. But, I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect player. But that was like the one major concern I had, was that he didn't have enough offensive creativity off the bounce.
He gonna have enough bag for you? He don't have deep enough bag for you these days?
Yeah, that's kind of like the buzzword now. But I always say Kawhi Leonard just knows how to get to his spots. Like, he doesn't have to do a lot of fancy dribbling. He just knows how to get there. And I think Cooper could be similar. But, yeah, that was the concern, was just he was predictable. Yeah. Which, to me, was a natural 4, growing up. So the adjustment to him having a bigger role on ball, you expect some of those bumps and bruises along the way.
And his handle has improved a lot, compared to what it was. He's got plus passing skills. Like, where do you see his passing? I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like, I was gonna say, where do you see his passing top out? But that's not really the question. The question is, like, how often is he going to be creating the advantages and then to use that passing and like I guess just what have you seen from him? Not just as a passer, but really as a playmaker, as a creator.
I think the upside is, I think the sky's the limit.
Mhm.
I honestly would love to see a situation where he gets some time on the ball, where they play him like they played Najee Marshall at the end of the year. It's a long-term development thing also. Obviously, they want to win now, but with Cooper, you want to develop him and maximize everything. And so if you remember, Kidd played Giannis at point in Milwaukee, and I think that helped Giannis along the way. So I would love to see some minutes where he's like the primary ball handler. Doesn't have to be the whole game, doesn't have to be a whole quarter, but I think that would be big in his development. And then down the line, it's just going to make things a lot easier for his teammates, because you're going to be able to trust him making plays out of ball screens.